Adolf Eichmann was a central figure in the Nazi regime. He joined the SS in 1932, steadily rising through its ranks. His bureaucratic efficiency became a deadly tool. Eichmann was tasked with the Jewish question, a euphemism for persecution and extermination. He became a principal architect of the final solution. This plan aimed for the systematic genocide of European Jews. Eichmann managed the complex logistics of deportation. He organized the transportation of millions of men, women, and children to death camps. His actions directly led to immense suffering and loss of life, forever marking him as a key perpetrator of unimaginable horrors. After Germany's defeat in World War II, Eichmann faced capture by Allied forces. U.S. troops detained him, but he managed to escape from custody in 1946. For several years he lived under various assumed identities, a ghost moving through the shadows. He moved across Europe and even spent time in the Middle East, constantly evading detection. His ultimate goal was to elude the Allied authorities and Jewish avengers who were actively hunting Nazi war criminals. In 1950, using the alias Ricardo Klement, Eichmann found what he hoped would be a permanent refuge in Argentina. He settled in Buenos Aires, aiming to live out his days in quiet obscurity, far from the European continent and the scenes of his heinous crimes. The newly established State of Israel was deeply committed to seeking justice for the atrocities of the Holocaust. Its leaders and citizens felt a profound moral obligation to bring Nazi war criminals to account for their actions. This pursuit was not merely about retribution, it was fundamentally about remembrance, about ensuring such horrors would never be repeated, and about honoring the memory of the 6 million Jewish victims. The Mossad, Israel's fledgling intelligence agency, was entrusted with this daunting and complex mission. Hunting elusive figures like Eichmann, who had gone deep underground and adopted new identities, required immense patience, sophisticated intelligence gathering, and considerable resources. The world was attempting to move on from the war, but for Holocaust survivors and the Jewish people, the wounds remained deeply raw, and the pursuit of justice was a national imperative. The first significant leads regarding Eichmann's whereabouts began to emerge in the late 1950s, years after his escape. Fritz Bauer, a courageous German Jewish prosecutor serving in West Germany, played an absolutely crucial role in this development. In 1957, Bauer, who harbored deep distrust regarding his own country's judiciary's willingness and capacity to vigorously prosecute high-ranking Nazis, made a momentous decision. He secretly informed Israeli intelligence officials that he possessed credible information suggesting Eichmann was hiding in Argentina. Another vital piece of the puzzle came from Lothar Hermann. Hermann was a half-Jewish German émigré who was also living in Argentina. His daughter Sylvia unknowingly began dating Klaus Eichmann, Adolf's eldest son. These converging pieces of intelligence, originating from different sources, slowly began to pierce Eichmann's carefully constructed veil of anonymity, setting the stage for one of history's most daring pursuits. Acting upon the intelligence provided by Fritz Bauer and the information from Lothar Hermann, Mossad initiated a highly covert investigation. The renowned Mossad agent Zvi Aharoni was dispatched to Argentina on a perilous mission. His primary objective was to verify the information, confirm Eichmann's presence, and positively identify the man living as Ricardo Klement. Aharoni, a highly skilled and experienced operative, meticulously tracked down the Klement family. He conducted extensive surveillance on their modest residence located at 4261 Garibaldi Street in San Fernando, an unassuming and rather remote suburb of Buenos Aires. After weeks of patient observation, cross-referencing details, and painstaking intelligence work, Aharoni gathered compelling, irrefutable evidence. He even managed to covertly photograph Eichmann, providing visual confirmation that Ricardo Klement was indeed the notorious Nazi fugitive. This confirmation was the critical green light Mossad leadership needed to proceed. The operation to capture Adolf Eichmann was personally overseen by the legendary Mossad director, Yasser Harel. Harel was widely known throughout the intelligence community for his unwavering determination, his sharp intellect, and his meticulous, hands-on approach to complex intelligence operations. He carefully assembled an elite team of agents, hand-picking individuals for their specific skills and experience. This specialized team included seasoned operatives such as Rafi Eitan, who would lead the ground team during the capture, and Peter Malkin, an agent known for his physical prowess, his expertise in disguise, and his calm demeanor under extreme pressure. Zvi Aharoni, having conducted the crucial initial legwork of identification, was also an integral part of this highly specialized unit. The mission was codenamed Operation Finale. The stakes were incredibly high. Failure could result in international embarrassment for Israel, and more importantly, Eichmann could escape justice forever. The planning phase for Operation Finale was extraordinarily intricate and demanded absolute secrecy from all involved. The Mossad team strategically decided to travel to Buenos Aires in May 1960. This timing was deliberately chosen for a specific reason. Argentina was in the midst of celebrating its 150th anniversary of independence from Spain. These nationwide celebrations meant there would be a significant increase in international travel to and from the country, and consequently, less scrutiny applied to foreign visitors arriving at airports and border crossings. This festive atmosphere provided excellent cover for the Israeli agents. They entered Argentina in small, inconspicuous groups, utilizing false passports and various carefully constructed cover stories to avoid arousing any suspicion from Argentinian authorities or local Nazi sympathizers. Every minute detail, from secure transportation and encrypted communication methods to potential safe houses and emergency escape routes, was meticulously considered, planned, and rehearsed. Once successfully established in Buenos Aires, the Mossad team commenced intensive and continuous surveillance of Eichmann. They meticulously documented his daily routine with precision. They observed him leaving his house on Garibaldi Street each morning at a predictable time. They carefully noted his regular bus route to the Mercedes-Benz factory where he was employed under his assumed name. They also diligently tracked his return journey in the evening, confirming his patterns. Eichmann lived a remarkably modest, almost mundane life, which had undoubtedly contributed to his ability to remain undetected for over a decade. His predictability, however, which had once been his shield, now became a critical vulnerability. The agents confirmed his habits, identifying the optimal time and place to execute the capture with the lowest possible risk of interference, escape, or detection by local authorities. This detailed, up-to-the-minute intelligence was absolutely critical for the successful ambush. On the evening of May 11, 1960, the highly trained Mossad team moved silently into position, their hearts pounding with a mixture of adrenaline and anticipation. They knew from their extensive surveillance that Adolf Eichmann typically returned home from his job at the Mercedes-Benz factory by bus, arriving around the same time each day. The chosen location for the ambush was a quiet, dimly lit stretch of Garibaldi Street, situated very near his residence. 2 cars were strategically employed for the operation. One was designated to subtly block Eichmann's path, creating a pretext for stopping him, while the other served as the primary getaway vehicle. The agents, though understandably tense, remained sharply focused, acutely aware that years of painstaking planning, intelligence gathering, and relentless searching culminated in these next few critical moments. The atmosphere was thick with unspoken anticipation as they awaited Eichmann's arrival, fervently hoping their meticulously gathered intelligence about his daily routine would hold true for this crucial evening. As Eichmann disembarked from the bus and began his short walk towards his house, the carefully orchestrated trap was sprung into action. One Mossad car, feigning mechanical trouble, appeared to break down on the narrow street, causing a minor, believable distraction. As Eichmann approached this staged incident, Agent Peter Malkin, a key member of the capture team, decisively stepped forward. Malkin, famously, was the first operative to physically make contact with and restrain Eichmann. He reportedly uttered the calm words, "Un momentito, señor," "one moment, sir," just before the takedown. Eichmann was swiftly wrestled to the ground, his initial surprise quickly turning into futile resistance. He was then rapidly and efficiently bundled into the waiting getaway vehicle. The entire abduction, from initial contact to disappearance, took only a matter of a few minutes, a stunning testament to the team's remarkable precision, coordination, and rigorous training. Eichmann was immediately transported from Garibaldi Street to a pre-arranged and secured safe house located in a different part of Buenos Aires. This secret location had been carefully selected and rented by the Mossad team, specifically for this purpose, ensuring privacy and security. For the next 9 tense days, Eichmann was held captive in this safe house and subjected to intensive interrogation by Mossad specialists. The agents needed to be absolutely certain of his identity beyond any shadow of a doubt before attempting the highly risky and diplomatically sensitive extraction from Argentina. Initially, Eichmann adamantly denied being the infamous SS Obersturmbannführer, clinging to his alias Ricardo Klement. However, when confronted with irrefutable evidence including specific physical marks, detailed knowledge about his past known only to him and a few others, and even his own handwriting, he eventually relented. He confessed his true identity, Adolf Eichmann. Extracting Eichmann from Argentina posed an enormous logistical and diplomatic challenge. Argentina was a sovereign nation, and an unsanctioned abduction of any individual from its territory, let alone a high-profile one, constituted a serious violation of international law and its national sovereignty. Mossad devised an audacious and daring plan to overcome this obstacle. An El Al Israel Airlines flight, utilizing a Bristol Britannia turboprop aircraft, was specially arranged for this purpose. The flight ostensibly arrived in Buenos Aires carrying an official Israeli delegation invited to participate in Argentina's 150th independence anniversary celebrations. Eichmann was administered a sedative to ensure his compliance and to make him appear unwell. He was then disguised in an El Al flight attendant's uniform. On May 20, 1960, he was carefully smuggled onto the waiting airplane, his Mossad captors presenting him to unsuspecting Argentinian airport authorities as a sick crew member who had consumed too much alcohol during the festivities. When the El Al plane landed safely in Israel on May 22, 1960, Adolf Eichmann was covertly transferred from the aircraft to a specially prepared high-security prison facility. The entire operation had been conducted with such secrecy that his arrival went unnoticed by the public and the international press. The following day, on May 23, 1960, Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion made a dramatic and historic announcement to the Knesset, Israel's parliament. He declared to a stunned chamber and an astonished world that Adolf Eichmann, one of the principal architects of the Holocaust, was now in Israeli custody and would stand trial for his crimes against the Jewish people and humanity. The news reverberated instantly around the globe, eliciting a wide spectrum of reactions, from profound shock and disbelief in some quarters, to a deep sense of vindication and relief, particularly among Holocaust survivors and their families. Adolf Eichmann's trial commenced in Jerusalem on April 11, 1961. It was a landmark judicial event, unlike any trial that had preceded it in history. For the very first time, the systematic horrors and unimaginable brutality of the Holocaust were broadcast to a global audience, as the entire proceedings were televised, allowing people worldwide to witness the unfolding drama. Eichmann himself sat throughout the trial in a specially constructed bulletproof glass booth designed to protect him from potential assassination attempts, while ensuring his visible presence in court. Over several months, the prosecution team, skillfully led by Israel's Attorney General Gideon Hausner, presented a mountain of meticulously documented evidence, including Nazi records and Eichmann's own incriminating statements. Crucially, more than 100 Holocaust survivors courageously took the witness stand. They shared their harrowing personal testimonies, recounting the atrocities orchestrated by Eichmann and the Nazi regime. On December 15, 1961, after months of emotionally charged testimony, rigorous legal arguments, and careful deliberation by the three presiding judges, the Israeli court delivered its verdict. Adolf Eichmann was found guilty. He was convicted on all 15 criminal charges brought against him. These charges included heinous crimes against humanity, egregious war crimes, and specific crimes against the Jewish people, directly linking him to the murder of millions. Eichmann's primary defense, that he was merely a subordinate functionary, a small cog in a vast bureaucratic machine simply obeying orders from his superiors, was unequivocally rejected by the court. He subsequently appealed the verdict, but the Israeli Supreme Court upheld the conviction in March 1962. Numerous pleas for clemency, including some from prominent international figures who argued against capital punishment, were also carefully considered and ultimately denied by Israel's president, Yitzhak Ben-Zvi. The capture, trial, and subsequent execution of Adolf Eichmann had a profound and lasting impact that extended far beyond the courtroom. The daring Mossad operation itself was a stunning demonstration of the intelligence agency's remarkable capabilities, and a clear signal of Israel's unwavering resolve to pursue Nazi war criminals, no matter how long it took or where they hid. For Holocaust survivors worldwide, the trial and verdict brought a deeply symbolic sense of closure and a measure of justice, however incomplete, for the immense suffering they had endured. Furthermore, the trial played an invaluable and crucial role in Holocaust education globally. It forced many individuals and nations to confront the horrifying systematic nature of the genocide in stark detail. While Argentina initially and understandably condemned the abduction as a blatant violation of its sovereignty, leading to a period of strained diplomatic relations with Israel, the event ultimately served as a powerful and enduring reminder. It demonstrated that perpetrators of such monstrous crimes could not expect to escape accountability indefinitely.